Truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I, self-lord and master, Prince Jonathan L., coming to you from the Moor's Temple of Light in the Moor's Holistic Massage Wing section of the temple. And I'm gonna do a little brief introduction into Oriental medicine. All right, this is what I actually do. Okay, this is what I'm most passionate about. And today, on this beautiful Sunday, what I really just want to do is I just want to take a moment, just a couple of minutes, just to introduce you into the world of traditional Chinese medicine. Now, for my brothers and my sisters who are afraid to go to the hospital, and I shouldn't say afraid, who are necessarily cautious, shall we say, about going to the hospitalization complexes, you got other alternatives, okay? Other alternatives such as traditional Chinese medicine, which I study and practice. I am certified, not licensed, and let me go ahead and just state that the following information is not for legal, medical, or financial advice. However, if you need assistance with those things, I strongly and highly encourage you to go ahead and investigate those things for yourself. So, let's go ahead and talk about some things. Alright? Coming to you always under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I just want you to know that I, self-lord and master, and you should as well. Okay? Islam. Now, I'm just going to read some things. One, Patient's Bill of Rights. And before that, I'm going to get into some divine and national aspects of things. Just a few. Just so that way we align ourselves, and for the sake of consistency, all of my videos are aligned in the same train of thought. Okay, so study. When you finish studying, you ask me what to study yourself. All right. Honors and praise to the Creator, Most High, who prepared divinely the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who taught Moors to be themselves, uplifting fallen humanity through the founded Moor Science Temple of America in 1913, and they've been doing it ever since. And every day we have more and more Moors waking up. Okay, so question 1 of the 101s for Moor's children: who made you? Answer: Allah. Question 2. And before I continue, if Allah is not a name that you are comfortable with, replace that name with whatever name you're most comfortable with. Okay? Yahweh, Yah, God, Jesus. We honor all prophets, okay? So, who made you? Question 1, who made you? Allah. Question 2, who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Question 3, can we see Him? No. Question 4, where is the nearest place we can meet Him? In the heart. Question 5, who is Noble Drew Ali? He is Allah's prophet. Question 6, what is a prophet? A prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in the flesh. Question 7, what is the duty of a prophet? To save nations from the wrath of Allah. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and just let it build right there. Actually, no, let's keep going. 2 more. Number 8, who is the founder of the Moor Science Temple of America? Noble Drew Ali. Number 9, what year was the Moor Science Temple of America founded? 1913 AD. Alright? Islam. So, once again, the Most High, question 1, who made you? The Most High made you. Easy answer. Okay? And within that answer, you have to understand that based on what I previously prescribed as the hierarchy of law, ecclesiastical law being one of the, just being below natural law. That's whatever man has not indoctrinated. Okay, natural law dictates a certain harmony and rhythm of life. Okay, and so if that's what the Most High prepared or and gave to us as the children of the Most High, then we could go ahead and say that any form of medicine that we feel of natural substance can be consumed and used as a form of medicinal or treatment or relief of ailments, then nothing should be able to stop us and separate us from being able to have access to those things, okay? Now, having access to those things, you have to understand that this is you have to be conscientious and you have to be informed, all right, before you sign any contract. So once again, brothers and sisters who are the most afraid about going to a hospital, yo, check out some of your complementary and alternative medical practitioners, like chiropractors, like massage therapists, like physical therapists, like occupational therapists, like nutritionists, like dietitians, like acupuncturists, like doctors of Oriental medicine. Yeah. Okay. So, and anytime if you you're always on one of two sides of the spectrum. Okay. Sometimes you're treating something, and sometimes you need to be treated. Okay. So for those who have lost their way in treating or maintaining how they continuously treat themselves in a harmonious fashion, this is how you're going to get back to that, okay? So, I have right here in front of me from the ASP online, the Patient's Bill of Rights adopted in 1995. All patients should be guaranteed the following freedoms: to seek consultation with the physicians or physician of their choice, to contract with their physician or physicians on mutually agreeable terms, to be treated confidentially with access to their records limited to those involved in their care or designated by the patient, to use their own resources to purchase the care of their choice, to refuse medical treatment even if it is recommended by their physician, to be informed about their medical condition, the risks and benefits of treatment and appropriate alternatives, to refuse medical care will not result in to refuse third-party interference in their medical care, and to be confident that their actions in seeking or declining medical care will not result in third-party imposed penalties for patients or physicians, to receive full disclosure of their insurance plan in plain language, including contracts, a copy of the contract, disclosure of their insurance plan in plain language, including contracts, a copy of the contract between the physician and healthcare plan, and between the patient or employer and the plan, incentives, cost, coverage, qualifications, procedures, approval, referrals, appeals, gag rules. All of these things you can find at the aapsonline.org/patients/BILLRTS.HTM. Okay? Now, with that being said and done, I'm just going to go ahead and just briefly run through some points for what I'm most passionate about. I started studying massage therapy over 5 years ago. And just initially my interest was in herbs, but it seems that the herbs is not really what I'm good at. I actually am a lot better at hands-on therapy. So I've, used or fashioned my form of massage therapy to be more medicinal in its application. So I don't use oils. A lot of times my patients come through, they don't even need to get undressed unless we're doing something a little bit more penetrating, in nature. So, with that being said, our people need to stop being afraid of needles. If we could go get tattoos and we can, take certain recreational drugs, then we should not be afraid to use a needle to benefit us. And that means going to the hospital and getting fluids. That means going ahead to the hospital and getting that, certain immunizations when it's necessary. If it's not necessary, I don't believe that you need to have that. Okay? That's just my belief. If the disease is not present, I'm content. When it becomes present, we'll deal with it then. You understand? All right? So, and that's part of what we do in forms of traditional Chinese medicine. We either are treating the symptoms of a problem or the root of a problem, okay? And how we determine whether or not we're treating the symptom or the root is based on our patient's, our client's chief complaint. If you complain more about an issue that is relating to the circulation, then okay, I understand that you may need to change up your diet in certain ways to allow your blood vessels not to be clogged by, excessive amounts of low density lipids, those nasty, artery clogging, low density lipids. They're fats, they're and they're not bad fats because you need them, but you don't need them in such a high quantity. Okay, so let's get into this Chinese medicine, or as I like to call it, traditional Asiatic medicine. Okay, because all people on the planet started or came from the continental landmass of what we now consider Africa. All right, so here's my little introduction to traditional Asiatic medicine. Okay, you got the yin and the yang of everything. Okay, and when I say yin and yang, that's duality. You have an interior and an exterior. You have hot, cold. Okay, cold being yin, hot being yang. You have exterior qualities, which are yang qualities. You have inferior qualities, which are yin qualities. Okay, or internal qualities. So up, down, right, left. There's always balance. There's always harmony. Okay. And I'm not going to kick too much of this stuff in the stomach while it's living, Rather, I'm not going to massage it too much, because too much of a good thing could be a bad thing too. Okay, excess and deficiency, balance. You see that? Yin and yang, excess, deficiency. We have an excess amount of, in the previous example of those low density lipids, you have an excessive amount of low density lipids, which says you have a deficient amount of high density lipids, which balance the low density lipids. Okay, so eat foods that would help to increase your high density lipids, or do things that would encourage the production of high density lipids. Like, if you can't get it in your diet, then you should definitely be looking into your exercise. I myself like to practice Qigong and Tai Chi. I think that our people who have been practicing way too many violent, or not necessarily violent, because it's only violent when violence is needed, okay? When it's necessary. But if it's not necessary, we need to always be in more of a peaceful, calm, parasympathetic versus sympathetic, a rest and relaxation versus fight or flight state of mind. We need to be more in that parasympathetic state, okay? And that means that, like, any of our exercises should be ones that keep us calm, versus like Hulk smash, Hulk, mildly entertaining. Made you laugh. Laughter is good for the heart. In fact, laughter is one of the sounds of the heart. Okay, like singing is one of the sounds of the spleen and stomach. Crying is one of the sounds of grief given off by the lungs and large intestine. You'll hear the moans and groans whenever a person's bones are feeling achy, all right? And that's your kidney and bladder. That says that the water's not moving properly. And you'll hear a little bit of yelling in these green springs where the liver and the gallbladder do their thing, okay? Because they're a windy bunch, that pair they are, I tell you what. And see, that is some of the things that we call the 5-element theory. You see how I just gave you emotions, I gave you the sounds of each organ, or each organ pair, each meridian pair, and that's what these are. The heart and small intestine, they control the laughter. They manifest in the tongue, okay? So a person's heart, you can tell that a person's heart and their mind, which is governed or controlled by the heart, is pure based on what they say. Isn't that interesting? So I'm always doing this little bit of a diagnosis in a 5-element capacity. When a person sounds like when they're yelling and always angry, I already know they got liver and gallbladder issues. They need some healthy fats. You understand? They need some cholesterol, some healthy cholesterol, so that way they can breathe a nice sigh of relief. And that's one of the indications of the liver being overactive, okay, or stagnating the energy, stagnating the chi, okay. You hear someone make that kind of sigh, that says that the liver is not too happy. So, happy sighs, happy love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's all I got for you. I, Self-Law and Master. Peace.